that I've learned is that my kids will never be this age again. My kids will never be, never be this young. And that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one less day of Mateo grabbing his wrestlers and slamming them on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a day where like the stuff that they love that annoy the crap out of me because they're making too much noise, they're not going to want it anymore.
Yeah.
What up, my friends? Welcome back to the Proud Papi Podcast. On today's episode, I share the 5 things I've learned about fatherhood. Check it out. Oh, dang, dude.
It's right there.
I'm going to be 36 in
I know.
4 days.
Dude, it's pretty crazy, huh?
I was just having a conversation with my coworker. His name's Jerry. He's going to be 63. No, he just turned 63. No, 64.
Just a couple years away for you.
Yeah, right. I'm like right around the corner for me. But we were talking about how, because he was just sitting there and he was like, I just can't believe that I'm here, is what he said.
Huh.
He's like, you know, and his son had come in earlier in the day, and his son's probably like a couple of years older than me. And he was like, I just remember the day that I took him home when he was a baby. And it just flew by, and I was like sad, dude. I was like, oh man.
Take a moment of silence right now.
Yeah, like, you know, but like he's a granddad, so
Yeah, I thought you meant like at that job. Like, I can't believe I'm here. I thought you were going to say like, I took this job when I was 30 and I'm still here,
doing the same thing, getting paid the same. No, that's not what he said. But yeah, dude, like. I can't believe that I'm here. I can't believe that,
dude.
Because I was telling them, like, you know, it's funny, when I was younger, when I was like a kid, a teenager even, I thought, oh man, 36, like you're an adult, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm here and I don't feel like I have anything figured out. I don't feel like I'm mature. You know, I feel like I'm still like a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't believe it. I'm like getting closer to 40 now. Oh shoot. Just saying that makes me cringe, but
I know. I'm turning 35. You know, I'm right behind you. So,
dang, dude.
That's the wild thing. I love the fact that we're like a year and 5 months apart.
Yeah, year 4. Yeah.
So like I'm always nipping at your heels, dude. I'm right behind you.
Yeah. So you can't make old jokes because like,
I can't because you're still older.
Yeah, but I'm not that much older to where it's like you don't know what I'm feeling.
Well, I don't know because me and Jana were like I think 2.5, a little under 2.5. I always make it feel like it's so like, oh yeah, I remember back back then. She's like, we're not that. I was like, no, I'm so
back in my
much
day.
older. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, any big plans? Big plans?
Well, you know,
Am I invited?
Not during my birthday. So on my birthday, great. You know, it's a Sunday. And
so you'll be at the Lord's house?
I'll be at the Lord's house praising his name.
Good on you.
But I think we might take a weekend trip, like just me and Ruthie here.
Oh, cool.
Next couple of weeks. We're thinking about Santa Cruz.
Nice.
Take the weekend, no kids.
Yeah.
Like go, hike, go eat, go like just hang out and just get out. So
let me know, dude. I got some spots for you.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, send those over my way, dude.
No doubt.
Okay, so I got to share a story about the kids.
Gotta. Whose kids?
My kids.
Oh, okay, your kids.
Yeah, my kids.
Just clarifying.
This one's about Abel. So I thought this was really cool because, you know, I see myself in all my kids in different ways. I see myself in them. Like, oh, you know, in Abel, he's the one that I'm probably more like. Honestly, I think he has your sense of humor.
Yeah. We've been over this.
He doesn't have my sense of humor at all. He has your sense of humor. He's very expressive of his feelings, which I'm like, that's not me. You know, like, so I feel like he's there's a lot of things I'm like, oh wow, maybe Ruthie? I don't know where he, you know. But one of the cool things that I'm starting to see is his I feel like Abel's gonna be the next preacher of the family, dude.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I don't mean that like he's at home preaching his sermons or anything. Yeah. I just mean like his mind, like he likes to make connections. So he'll like, you'll look at this and go, this is like the way the Lord loves us. Like he
Okay.
makes connections. And so here's a funny story is that Abel's really into the Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
That's his big thing right now. He loves to like mix them up and then he gives them over to Shane to solve them for him. I don't get it. But he's watching videos on how to do the Rubik's Cube. So they're watching Rubik's Cube and Ruthie and Abel. And this girl says, she says something along the lines of, oh, the middle piece, it will not move. It will always stay the same when you're switching the Rubik's Cube around. And then Abel looks over at Ruthie, and I wrote it down, and he says, kind of like God, he should be the center of our life, and he will never move.
What? This is so true.
Dude.
So true.
I'm like, preach, dude, preach.
You know what's funny? Maybe it's just like our family and the way we were raised. There's like a deep part of me that just wants to be like rolled eyes, like, oh, come on. But no, man, encourage that in him. That's beautiful.
I've told him. I'm like, dude. I'm like, and I've told him in front of him. I've told Ruth. I'm like, he's going to be the next preacher. And again, when I say preacher, I don't mean Sunday morning suit and tie. I just mean like he's going to be able to communicate the gospel.
Sunday morning, cargo shorts and flip-flops.
Yes,
that's what you're thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Acoustic guitar in hand. Like he's going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Like I just see that the way he communicates, he's able to draw. And he's the older one, so obviously, but he has like a mind that he can like. So I thought that was so cool.
He might be an engineer. That might be the thing.
Well, he's into Legos too. He loves building Legos, and hey, either one.
We're a special breed.
I'm just saying he just has your sense of humor, not that he's exactly like you. But yeah, I had to share that. That was really cool about Abel.
That's really cool.
Dad tip. Ready for the dad tip?
I'm never ready, dude.
If you guys have a dad tip, feel free to send them in. DM with Eli's luscious mustache.
Yeah. We can make it Mustache Monday if you want.
Mustache Monday. This episode doesn't come out Monday, though. It comes out Wednesday. So here's the dad tip. All right. Here's a mental mode that will make it impossible to fail if you actually use it.
Okay.
Work every day on the 3 P's: protect, provide, and prepare. So protect is like to build your body, become a man capable of defending your family. Provide is to earn, save, invest more money. And prepare is to intentionally build bonds with your kids and strengthen the bond with your wife. Teach like a servant and set the household tone. Health, wealth, and relationships. Do one act each day in each bucket and watch your family flourish. Protect, provide, and prepare. The protect, build your body so that you can protect and defend your family, is like I know it has a kind of like a physical connotation to it. Like, just like get yoked so that way if anyone steps up, you can take care of them, But I honestly think a lot of that is just your mentals. As Marshawn Lynch said, your mentals and your...
Dentals?
No, mentals and your chicken?
I don't know, dude.
He says something like that. Pretty crazy. Anyway, your mentals though too, like your mind, your ability to discern, your prayer life, like all that plays into protecting, because especially now, it isn't so much about physical, it's more about spiritual and mental and all the emotional, like how to discern what is real and not real, and being able to protect your kids from what is real and not real, right? Like I just mentioned, Abel watching, videos on the Rubik's Cube. It's like, oh, that's cool. And when you're on YouTube, bro, like YouTube can send you to the other side like this. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's part of protecting my family. Like, hey, like you can watch this video, but when it's over, you're done. You're off. Because they'll spit you out another way if you stay in there.
Spat out more times,
dude. I mean, so, but what I really like too is provide, is to earn. Sure, that's providing, but also saving and investing. Yeah. I mean, growing up, did we learn much about saving and investing?
Nope. We learned about spending.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Like, I mean, so, and you would think that, we would know more, but we didn't. Like, our parents didn't talk about that stuff. Yeah. And so saving and investing is something that I'm in my family, like trying to flip. Not that my parents weren't saving. I don't know.
No, yeah.
We
didn't
know.
Yeah.
We just didn't know. There was no like hey kids, let me show you our budget, what that looks like. Hey kids, let me show you what we do with the money. Like we didn't know any of that, which I get. My parents probably just like, they're kids. Let them be kids. It's our job to provide and take care of the family, which is true. But the other day, like I have YNAB as my budget app. You need a budget. It's like kind of like Dave Ramsey's budget app, right?
Okay.
And so I like it because it's on the phone and Ruthie has access to it. Anyway, I was like doing some stuff there, like, and Abel saw how much money, I got paid. And he was like, we have that much money? And I was like, no, we don't. Let me show you.
Yeah.
And I started showing him like, I got to put money to this bill, money to that bill, groceries. And then at the bottom, it showed me how much money I left. I'm like, how much money we have left over? He's like, and it was still more than what he's used to, right? He's like, we still have. I'm like, no, dude.
Too many Rubik's
hang on, bro. Yeah. I was like, but wait, we want to go to Disney this year, right? Which we're planning for a family Disney trip in October.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, then that money's gone already because that money's going to that trip. Right. Like, or that money's got to go to, and I did everything. I showed him where money for food, money for taking care of the cars, money for buying supplies for the home. I'm like, and he's like, oh, wow, you really don't get all that money. I'm like, no, I don't. Do
you show him the taxes as well?
That'll
blow his mind.
He just saw what came in the account, not what I actually got.
Yeah.
Before taxes. But then I showed him tithes. The first thing we do is put money towards tithes, and but I mean, I think giving kids a look into that. Not that they need to know everything, but like, hey, yeah, we get paid $20, but I don't get to bring all $20 home.
Yeah.
They have to go to other things we need at the house, And so I like that one. To me, that one, I like the idea of that because it also helps prepare the kids when they become adults too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely. I understand financials are always hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Even with your wife, it's hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, your kids. But it is true. Like it is really helpful to show them that so they are able to kind of structure that.
Yeah.
And so I like that.
Yeah. So the 3 Ps, dad tip. And again, if you got a dad tip, send it in.
Drop it.
Best ones will be shared on the show. All right. So last week we talked about TV dads.
Right.
Fun.
It got heated.
It did get heated.
Yeah,
I think you almost punched me in the face.
Yeah. When the cameras went off, the chairs were flying.
So like we mentioned, like I'm going to be 36 in a few days.
Yeah.
And so I just realized that I will be, when Abel turns 10 this year.
Yeah.
Which means I've been a dad for 10 years, which means I know everything about fatherhood. And so I thought it'd be great for you guys to come in and listen to my wisdom about fatherhood.
Please.
No,
grace us with your presence.
Just joking.
Almighty Father.
What I want to share is like 5 things I've learned about fatherhood. This is not, as you will see quickly, this is not the things I've never heard before, but this is very much for me in my journey, like things that I've come to realize.
Yeah.
So I'd like to show those 5 things with you guys. And these are not like top 5, okay? These are just 5 things. So I'm not starting with number 5. The first thing is that that diaper blowouts are overrated.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that when I became a dad, everyone warned me about diaper blowouts.
Yeah.
Horror stories.
Yeah, right.
All over the car seat, all up the back, all the way up in the hair. Like all these horror stories that made it sound like every time you did a diaper change, it could be that time.
It could be the one. It's an earthquake.
I have my kids had blowouts, like sure, but it hasn't. I'm like, is this it? Yeah. I'm on my 3rd kid. I'm changing my 3rd kid's diaper, or like, I'm good.
Oh, how pride comes before the fall.
No, I'm
Dolly
good.
is just going to give you just one heck of a story.
Dalia.
You're going to come back next week and
No,
be like just shaking, just PTSD.
No. But I'm serious though. Like,
yeah.
My boys, easy.
Yeah.
Easy money. So, guys.
You know the one that was a trip for me?
Yeah.
The first couple ones.
Okay.
Because like they're black and it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah. When they first, at the hospital or when they first come home, you're like, I don't think this is normal.
Yeah.
But they tell you like, no, it is like they have to actually get out of their system. So it's good. But you're like, no, this doesn't look.
This isn't it.
I've seen poop.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of poop in my life.
I'm pretty good at it. I've never done this.
Yeah, this does not look good. The second thing I've learned as a dad so far is that each kid is different. What worked for one is not going to work for the other.
Yeah.
They're completely different in like just the way they think, the way they act. And in that means that I have to adjust. It's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I got to change up. Like maybe for Abel, it is like a firm talking to, but for Mateo, maybe I have to actually like physically pick him up and slam him on. I'm just kidding. Physically pick him up and he needs to understand that I'm there. It's not just words.
Yeah.
So each kid is different. So that means I also have to adjust, some things too.
Well, like, let me ask you, obviously from 1 to 2 is where you really learn that lesson, right? That each kid is going to be different.
Yeah. I think.
Was there like a situation looking back where you're like, oh, I really should have done something different here? Like, was there something with Mateo? I would imagine with Mateo, because you had at least had Abel, you understood a little bit to who he was. Was there something that you did with Mateo that you would normally do with Abel where you're like, ooh, yeah, that's not it?
Well, so with Abel, again, I could firmly tell him to stop doing something and give him a look, and that would be enough.
Yeah.
Mateo, it's not enough. And what that caused me to do is then raise my voice and physically be imposing, meaning like to stand over him, to talk down to him. And that I'm like, I don't think that helped either. Because Mateo's just going to react to what I'm doing. How do I say this? Like Mateo's just going to, I feel like what I need to do with Mateo is to actually like be calm.
De-escalate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Abel, I could be like, Abel, stop, don't do that. And he would stop. And I do that to Mateo, and then Mateo like, and then I'm like, what are you doing?
So he mirrors a little bit.
Exactly. Yes, thank you. He'd mirror what I was doing, and I'm like, oh shoot. And I'm
what have you started?
Yeah, but I'm like realizing like, oh man, like what I should have done from the beginning was to like, hey man, come here, let's talk real quick. Hey, we don't do that. But I thought that if they did something bad, like I have to, hey, don't do that, right. And so this is like, that answers. Yeah. I mean, because obviously you and I, very different. Yeah. Very different growing up. The one that my dad loves telling for some reason, I don't know why, he just does. But we would get spanked, when we were younger. For sure. And our reactions to getting spanked were very different. Ben was what we would call a runner. The runner, the squirmer.
Squirmer, under the tables, through the chairs, while I was very like, go grab the belts, come back.
Yeah, and you
around. did. And I think part of that was me understanding, like... very mature for my age.
I can imagine 6-year-old Eli going, all right, Dad, I understand. I need a spanking.
This hurts you more than it hurts me, Dad.
I get it,
I understand.
Dad. You love me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, it is true. And I think you see that obviously with your kids. And the funny thing is that, they're both, you can see shades of you in them. And yet you can also see shades of like Ruthie. Yeah. And then shades of like, where did that come from?
Yeah. Kind of thing. Well, like Abel has your sense of humor.
Yeah, right.
Where did that come from? I don't know.
Not for me.
Okay, number 3 is that when you feel helpless, be hopeful. So as a dad, there have been plenty of moments so far. And oh, God, I'm even scared just saying this because my kids aren't teenagers.
Right.
But there have been moments where I have felt helpless. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing it all wrong. And I suck, right?
Yeah.
In those moments, I've learned be hopeful. And I mean that, what I mean by that is I still have, like, I woke up today
Yeah.
and got to interact with my kids. And so I have another chance.
Right.
And as much as we may think that one mistake will like stay for the rest of our lives, like our kids are pretty forgiving and honestly very forgetful, you know? And so, every opportunity that I get is a new opportunity and a fresh start. And so even on the days that I do suck, if I'm given an opportunity, I have an opportunity not to suck anymore.
I mean, isn't that like life? Like, that's just part of the process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, failure is part of that process.
Yep.
And the more that you can just say, okay, today's a new day. I have another opportunity to move.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it too. I've been in those moments where it's like, I just feel like the worst dad like in the world.
And, you know, it doesn't take very much to feel that way.
Right.
You know, but I've learned like I can stay feeling like helpless, but that doesn't help my kids right now.
Right.
So I've learned to like, you know what? Apologize when you need to. You know, go to your child and apologize. I'm sorry. Dad shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have said that. That was wrong. I love you. Like I'm gonna do better, and then do better.
Yeah.
And move forward. You know, so I've learned that when you feel helpless, be hopeful. Fourth thing I've learned is that my kids, they bring me honor. They bring me honor in the way that they treat others and act when I'm not around. They bring me honor in how they live their life. But my kids also keep me humble. They're there to remind me that I'm not perfect. That as much as they need me, I still need help too, you know? And so my kids bring me honor, but they also keep me humble. And the fifth thing that I've learned is that my kids will never be this age again. My kids will never be, never be this young. And that sucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but when I think about that, it kind of reminds me, honestly, like when I think about like my kids as being little, being where that right now, it reminds me a lot of like us, and it's stupid like TikTok videos and Instagram videos, but you know, like those videos are like, it'll like show like a family playing around, and this dad like smiling, and it's like, and like some text will pop up and it say something like this is their childhood memories, you know, and that type of stuff reminds me of like us growing up, of like being in the house all together, waking up together, like, you know, just living life together, and then not realizing that each day that goes by is like one less day of doing that.
Yeah.
And so the kids, you know, it's like one less day of Mateo grabbing his wrestlers and slamming them on the table.
Yeah.
Like I could and have easily been like, dude, that's enough. Like put him away. Like we don't, but it's like, dude, like there's going to come a time. Oh, that's the video I saw. I saw a video of a parent, and it was set up, right? It was like a staged video. So that's why I hate TikTok, because they get you. But
that's why I'm not on TikTok.
But the video was of this mom like putting away her kid's toys because he's grown out of them, and then she's grabbing one toy and she's looking at it, and then the parent like had a video clip of the kid playing with that toy, and then she's putting it in the bag. And then she grabs another toy, and the kid's playing with that. You see a flashback, and then and I'm like, oh, yeah. There's a day where like the stuff that they love that annoy the crap out of me because they're making too much noise, they're not going to want it anymore.
Yeah.
And so that stuff, even though it hurts, it's like, I have to really try to maximize and enjoy this moment as much as it may be annoying that you're hearing a piece of plastic slam against wood all day. But it's like they're never going to be this age again. They're never going to be, Dalia's never going to be this small again. Eventually she will actually start talking in full sentences. And I'm going to be like, oh, I miss when she could only say daddy and that's it, you know, or little words. And so, yeah, those are the things that I've learned in my 10 years of being a dad, and my new book, which is called 10 Years of
10 years of being a dad.
Of being a dad. Everything you need to know about fatherhood.
That's so funny.
But
it is. It's true. I think that last one, that one hits the hardest. I mean, I think every father, especially father for kids as they're growing up, you know, I think same. In my living room right now, there is mounds of Brio trains. Kid loves trains.
Yeah.
And a really cool moment. We his godparents, they live out over by Placerville. Mm-hmm. And so we usually go over there for New Year's. And we decided to go to the train museum in Sacramento.
Oh, cool.
Which if you haven't been, if your kids love trains, go.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. And just to see like him just like, you know, just like total best day ever, right?
Yeah.
Like, we can go in this train. Yeah, we can go in this train.
Yeah.
And why is it moving? Because it's pretending like it's moving. And just to see those moments. But yeah, you're right. There's already toys that he's already grown out of. Yeah. It's like, okay, we're going to put that away. And of course, he's still at an age where he doesn't want to get rid of anything. Right. He's like, no, that's my toy. Like, you never play with it. No, it's mine. Yeah, I'll play with it right now kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you never grow out of that too. Like, because I felt like that for us too. You're right. Like, there's something special about when me, you, Narcy, and Zach are in the same house. Yeah. It just is. Yeah. You know, like, it's why I love the holidays, because we're all together again, you know, and we felt it like during Papa's service too, when we had the cousins. Yeah. And my favorite part of that weekend was going to Zeke's house afterwards. Yeah. All the cousins were there.
That was awesome.
And we were just hanging out, right? Like, we weren't in that moment of grief, but we were just hanging out again and just like enjoying each other's company, telling jokes. I made it like, and we had a lot of stuff going on that weekend, but I made it like a point, like, I gotta go. Like, even if you can't come, you know, like, I gotta go. Yeah. And, and that's the unfortunate part. As we get older, weddings and funerals, man, those are the only times you really get to like reunite and stuff. Yeah. I know we've talked about doing the family reunions, and anyone that's ever planned a family reunion knows how complicated and expensive those get. But man, that's special. I would say that's really good on a number of bases. A, treasure your kids. Yeah. B, treasure your siblings. Yeah. C, treasure your parents. Yeah. So
treasure it all.
Treasure it all.
Treasure the moment that you're in as a dad right now. Like, I'm getting older, as we've said plenty of times on this podcast. When I play a game of basketball, man, I feel it for a couple days after. But there's going to be a time where I'm not going to be able to get up and down on a basketball court.
I don't believe that.
Oh, you believe it.
I'll wheel you up and down.
It's coming sooner. It's coming sooner than later.
I'll wheel you up and down,
so buddy. It's like, dude, enjoy the fact. I got to enjoy that I could play with my kids right now. You know? Yeah. Enjoy that.
No, that's a real thing.
You know, enjoy that they want to play with me. Enjoy that I want to, you know, like, and I know it's easy to just be like, oh, you know, like, tomorrow it's another day. I could do it next week or whatever. But it's really about, no, dude, like, appreciate this. This is only for a short time, you know? And like I was mentioning about my coworker, Jerry, who turned 64, even he was like, man, I remember like, and because his kid was visiting him, and his son was a couple years older than me, and he's like, I remember like bringing him to the hospital or bringing him home from the hospital, and I was like, man, and you could see in his eyes like that he literally looked like it would just happened. Yeah, and it's like, dude, like that doesn't ever go away. No, you know that feeling like, but we were just there. Like, how do we, you know, like, and that's where I feel like with Abel, with with all my kids. You know, even Dalia. It's like, oh man, like looking at her little baby pictures the first couple of weeks she came home. It's like completely different person.
Yeah, they grow
fast,
man.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, treasure it all. And the exciting thing too is like I'm only 10 years in, and I can't wait to see what the next 10 years looks like. And I know some of it's gonna be very stressful. So
yeah, I hear that.
But yeah, I think it's important to look at your life, look at where you're at with your kids, and enjoy it. Like, go play catch, you know?
Yeah.
Get them off the tablet. Get off your phone and go do something together that they'll remember when they get older. So
yeah,
those are the 5 things I've learned as a dad.
Well, happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, man.
Big bro.
Thanks.
And it's all downhill from here.
Thanks.
36. It's already retiring now. So.
Oh, Jesus. I got to set up my retirement 401k plan.
Get that 401k. Start getting that Medicare.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I got a question for you. What are 5 things that you've learned about fatherhood? Let me know in the comments. That way we can share all together and learn from one another. Share the 5 things that you've learned about fatherhood. Hey, and if you're watching for the first time and you like this type of content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We come out with weekly episodes on Wednesday, so do that right now. All right, guys, until next time, peace out.